America is making me so uncomfortable right now, and I want to break it down in this video. I need to get this out because these times are strange. Everybody can feel it, but they've also just announced something that I think you should know. Whether you live in America, whether you live outside of America, just as a human on a human level, you should understand what's happening. I was talking with a friend yesterday while I was out here on the island at the mall, and we were discussing how America has trained us in such a way to be prideful, too patriotic, to be non-functioning humans in society, and you only see this once you go outside of America. We were discussing how even the food is fake, the 3D printed meat graphics, the super AI surveillance, the new flock cameras, and everything else that they have in that system that just does not exist outside of America. I mean, and she's pregnant, and she was discussing how even when she eats meat, cheese, butter outside of the United States of America, it feels much different and she can eat more of it. She doesn't get nauseated anymore. And I thought that was so telling. I thought it was so strange, but maybe not as strange because I already know these things. That's why I left America 6 years ago to come to Africa in the first place, because Africa is the place that does have real food, real produce, real bread, real nutrition. But at the end of the day, even Europe does. We were also talking about baby formula because we have a child, we have a new baby that's about 2 months old. And sometimes I'll supplement. I am a whole exclusive breastfeeder, but I also supplement at times because my baby loves to eat, okay? My girl, she's like, listen, I want all the rolls, all the fat on my body. Like, yes, I am that baby. So she's that girl. And so out here, they have a formula that's called Nursey, and it's from the European Union. It's from France. Okay, great. I don't like to do Nestle, so I didn't purchase Nestle. And then I looked up Similac in Europe to see just like how Similac was in Europe, but Similac, get this, is banned in Europe. Crazy. Similac, yes, is banned in the European Union, but it's legal for Americans to have it. And this is why I say America is such a strange society. It's such a weird matrix where only certain things apply to America, but they don't even give them to the rest of humanity outside the world. Or should I say the rest of humanity outside of America? Now that's my first point. My second point is this news that I have gotten. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe, because I'm not sure why Americans are like, I had no idea that this was a thing. You Americans need to watch your news, okay? I know y'all are like, I don't need to watch the news. I could be on cloud nine all day. Please, watch your news. I'm not saying watch it 8 hours a day. Watch it for 15 minutes a day. That's it. That's all I ask, 15, 20 minutes. That's as much news as I watch. You're gonna be shocked at this because Iran has officially declared war against the United States of America. And I want to break this down and tell you why it's so critical, pivotal, and important. We have never been at this point in the war. I want you to get that. I want everybody to understand that this is a big deal, despite CNN and President Trump and JD Vance telling you everything's fine. We're just about to end the war and win. We're almost done. We're not almost done. Iran is just beginning. In fact, Iran has never declared war until this exact moment where I'm standing with you today. Iran has declared a war with America. Iran has also stated if the U.S. tries to do another peace deal, because they feel like the U.S. is manipulating them, if the U.S. tries to do one more peace deal, they're not going to attend. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if Trump says on Friday, I'm about to fly to Tehran and have a peace deal. They're saying, don't believe it. You are getting two different sides of the story here that are opposite sides of the story. Not only that we are now officially at war with Iran. When it becomes official, a couple of things happen, you see. First, they're going to institute the draft. That's number one. So if you were somebody that was looking at exiting the U.S., you may want to do that like quicker, right? Okay, you may want to do that while the flight tickets are still low. You may want to do that before it impacts oil even worse. You may just want to get started and get on your journey and get going, because at the end of the day, the clients in the mature adult intensive for the last cohort 9, whew, they've already landed in Africa. They're already living and getting their rentals and seeing how they want to live and seeing, okay, how do I want to have my health care outside of America? In record time, like this last cohort, they were like, I'm out in 60 days, and they're out. They keep in touch with each other. Somebody's like, hey, I've been messaging this person who is in the cohort. They're leaving in October. I'm like, oh, wow, y'all not playing. Because they can feel the pressure, and I know you feel that pressure too. That's why you tune into this channel and watch dang near every single video. We begin the Mature Adult again on August 9th, link in the description for that. But on one side, we have the draft. On one side, we have the food supply chain and fertilizer issues. Then on the other side, you're gonna have the economic collapse of America that America is not ready for. All of the investors, all of the economic specialists, all the finance advisors will tell you this is about to take place. They are saying, you want to run from the S&P 500. You want to run from Apple and Google because these guys are about to tank, because times of war lead to great depressions. Despite what your media wants to tell you, you can just look at history and see, oh, World War I and II, oh, Great Depression. Oh, you had a Great Depression going through the 1920s up to the 30s, up towards even the 40s. They were trying to get out of it. And then you had like this type of new world that existed after that World War II scenario. So imagine we are in a time where we have World War III, because this is World War III. America and Iran officially at war, though they've been striking each other way before that. And mind you, President Trump is striking harder than he ever has before, just so you know. Next thing, 2 U.S. service members have officially been killed. Now, I believe a few other people were unalived earlier in the war as well, maybe due to a helicopter or plane crash, whatever, but 2 have been killed. They were in Jordan. And J.D. Vance, he put something out. He said, listen, this is going to make us go even harder to avenge the American patriots, okay? May they rest in peace. There's going to be a lot more of that coming. There's going to be a lot more. This service member died. This service member is gone. And America is not ready. This is why America is making me uncomfortable, because I see that America is going in very pridefully, very much patriotic, very much like we got this. We can do anything. And in my heart of hearts, deep inside of my soul, I know that this is a suicide mission for America. An unaliving mission for America, okay? I know it because I see the signs. I read prophecy. I read the book of Revelations. I know what's coming to Babylon, mystery Babylon. I know that Iran is not playing. I know that we're dealing with the ancient regime, Persia. Does anybody study Persia? Has anybody read the book of Daniel after all? Has anybody just gone through basic biblical history to understand who Iran is? Iran is an interesting player because Iran, let's just erase the word Iran, let's put Persia instead. Persia was always known for kingdoms rising, falling, rising, falling. Sometimes they were on Yah's side, sometimes they were not, but in both ways, they would always be used by Yah to judge Israelite nations and his people. But Persia was also used to judge other kingdoms, because Persia in its heyday was the strongest on earth, was the strongest in the world. They were ruling stuff. In Persia's heyday, they were like, look, we rule everything. We have all of our different deities, all the things we own. We have everything that we want. We are the top dogs today. Persia is trying to, Iran is trying to re-amplify that and have their Persian Renaissance, so to speak. And they will be successful to an extent in that, because you're going to see a lot of the nations fall away from America's side, as is prophesied in the book of Revelations. It literally says all of Babylon's lovers will leave her, and she will be left in the dust. What does that mean? That means America has a lot of friends, or had a lot of friends, but as sure and as quickly as you knew that they had those friends are going to leave. You've already seen that with Denmark, with Greenland, with Spain. If you follow the news, this is why I say don't be someone that's just like, hear no evil, see no evil, see nothing. Like, please discern, be a watchman, be a watch person, be somebody that is able to intake biblical truth, analyze what's happening current day, and then disseminate that information to your people, to your family, to whoever you need to speak to, because the end times is here at the end of the day. You may not like it, but you know, it just is what it is. I may not like, I may be like, hey, I want to go on vacation to Ethiopia and Ghana, and I was trying to do this, and I'm trying to do that, and I want to go to Morocco, but it's like, listen, this is World War III. This is why America is making me uncomfortable. And it should be making you uncomfortable as well. It should be making you double, triple, quadruple think How does this pan out for myself and my family? Not for everybody in America, but you need to think in generations here. Your immediate family, perhaps your immediate friends, if they're also interested in building with you and things of that nature for your businesses, whatever it is. Pause. See, I know that you have been looking up how to generate income online, how to make money online. You need an extra 5K, 9K per month, whatever it is. And you know AI can do a lot of things. Now, I'm a 10-year entrepreneur. I own a retention marketing firm, and I have worked with some of the biggest clients that exist, not only within Black-owned businesses, but now also Fortune 500 companies. But I would love to teach you to do the same thing. I mean, come here. As long as you keep this quiet, I will give you my secrets. 15 different innovative AI business models that you can use. Thinking about working with dentists, plumbers, electricians, body care, supplements, tech companies, social media companies as well. Visit the link in the description for the State of the Diaspora Business Intel. If you are the diaspora and you want to be mobile with your money, this is the edition for you. Your ticket is $100. See you there. How does this pan out for us if this war goes full-blown the way they have already said that it is now an official notification of war against America and Iran? And the Israelis have been quiet. I think they were louder at the top of the year, but they've been oddly quiet. Russia's oddly quiet. China is oddly quiet, but China's going through a lot right now. China's going through an economic crash as well in their housing sector. China's going through a lot and still building in Africa simultaneously. Why? Because China knows that they're not even going to be in China. They plan on being in Africa. I'm telling you, every time I walk out here, I was with my friend yesterday, walking around, and I said, when you're here, look at all the new construction for apartment complexes. We have a lot of buildings out here, like every 3 seconds, okay? And I said, look who they're being built by. I said, every time I see a new construction, I look at the sign to see who it's being built by, and every single time, it's Chinese corporations, technology companies that are building apartments, building mass infrastructure, mass apartment complexes. You may say, why are they doing that? Why would they leave China? Why would they do that? They're doing that because they know what's coming. They're doing that. A lot of Chinese people don't even believe in the Bible. Some do, some don't. A lot of people in China don't even believe in the Bible, don't even necessarily like Black people, don't. But something is telling them, just from a practical, very fleshly side, we're not going to survive here in China. This isn't going to work. This is wartime. We need to have a plan B exodus space out there in Mauritius. We need to have a plan B exodus space out there in Tanzania, in Congo, in Rwanda. You know, we've also gotten information and intel from somebody that traveled to Rwanda not too long ago that there's a lot of Europeans going to Rwanda, Eastern Europeans, Chinese people, so much so that it's like surprising, like the nations are fleeing. And when I tell you the French are fleeing to come to Mauritius, African Americans as well, people are fleeing these top dog nations to come to Africa. Multiple countries, but specifically countries like Mauritius and Rwanda, who have these long-term residency processes, transparent business. Ghana as well, super good for business. Ghana's up there like top dog. Ghana, Rwanda, Mauritius. That's where people are coming in mass, not just to invest, but to live. Because there's a difference between I invest here, but I leave. I invest here, but I leave. I invest, but I don't really live with them like that. And actually living amongst the people for years and years and years on end, actually getting integrated with the society, having your networks and people that are in these local villages, in these local areas, in government, and whatever it is. That's a huge difference, and I want you to see and understand that and discern the times, discern which path you'd like to take. Because listen, we're in World War III. Welcome to World War III. How's everybody doing? It just is what it is. Shalom, shalom. Hit the like button. Share this with everybody who needs to hear it. And I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you think down below. Is this a pivotal turning point when Iran and America have announced that they're officially at war with each other?